Hey everyone, it's Pat from Pat's Ever Music. Thank you so much for joining me for another one finger riff video series. Now, if you haven't seen this video before, every single month we combine 10 riffs that are all suggested by you, so the viewers. So comment below if there's another song or a riff that you want to learn, and I'll show you the easiest way to play it with one finger. I'll show you a 2-finger and a 3-finger method and full bar chords as well, all in this one video, and the tab throughout. Now, just before we dive right on in, if you're new to guitar, the first playlist in the comment section below is titled Learning to be a Guitarist. All the videos are in order. It's all on YouTube. It's all for free. You don't have to sign up for anything. Highly recommend checking out that playlist. That'll show you everything from learning your first sort of songs to writing your own songs, learning chords, learning how to solo. It's all there in that one playlist. But enough of my yakking. Let's start. Alright, so of course we're checking out We're Not Gonna Take It Anymore by Twisted Sister. Thank you, Jess, for the suggestion. So diving right on in, I would suggest using the bridge pickup and a little bit of distortion. Now I'll show you the 1-finger method first. So dive right on in on the 5th string, use your first finger on that 7th fret. Once you've played that, play the 7th fret again, and then immediately the 6th fret. So here's what that would sound like. Fantastic. Once you've done that, play the 6th fret, and then immediately after that, the 4th fret. That's what I've got so far. And then the last part of the riff is you play the 4th fret, and then immediately after that, the 2nd fret. Now that is the main riff, but if it's in the verse, they actually play another 2nd fret before you start again. So here's the riff. Then you start again. So it's all that last note's really important. So let's hear it again. Then you would start again. If you want to turn it into power chords and play it like the actual band, have your first finger exactly like everything we've already done. Then use your 3rd finger, a string down and a fret across to make that shape. So it's like, I'm exaggerating my fingers, but just so you can see. So you're creating a power chord. I play both strings at once, and you play it exactly the same. Nice and slowly. Alright, thank you very much for the suggestion. Norah Jones, Come Away With Me, beautiful song. Nice sort of slow ballad, but it's great to practice your solos over, and I'll show you everything, full chords, 1-finger method, diving right on in. So it's really slow compared to other songs that we've learned before. Now I'll show you the full chord method first, so multiple fingers, then I'll show you the 1-finger method. So it start off with a C major chord. Then all I would do is take your 3rd finger off, and suddenly you've got A minor 7. And it's really dragged out like that, and then back to C, then A minor. That's the first line. So the first line, well, that's the intro, and then when it starts, it's those same 2 chords again. Then the 2nd line, so Come Away With Me and I'll Write You a Song. Again, C, A minor, E minor, and now this is a little bit tricky. It's F sus2, and how I'd play that is I'd have my 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the D string. The G string is open, because that's your 2nd note, and then your 1st finger is barring those 2 first frets on string 1 and 2. And then C, and then G. And then just repeats that, so come away with me, A minor 7, C, into the night, A minor, and again C, come away, A minor, and E, write you a F sus2. But the chorus is a little bit trickier. Chorus goes into G, F sus2, and then you hold the C for 2 bars, and then G, F sus2, C. And then once you've done that, the last line is G, so won't you try to come? And then C. One finger method, I'd have my first finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. That's your C notes. Then I'd just drop down and put on the 2nd fret and play those 2 strings, and that's your A. Back to C, back to A. Jump up a string for E, up a string and back a fret for F, then back to C, 3rd fret, 5th string. Now for the chorus, jump up a string and play G, 3rd fret, 3rd fret, 6th string. Back 2 frets, back to C. You can play C again if you want. Then up a string, G, back 2 frets, F, down to C, C again. Then up a string, G, then down a string, C. Then if you wanted to, of course, you can turn it into power chords. But that's it. It's a great song, and it's really paced fantastic for a beginner because you can really take your time between those chord changes. Thanks for the suggestion. Alright, so Good Riddance by Green Day. Thank you so much for the suggestion, Fletcher. Now, this is a tricky song. It's quite hard and it's quite tricky learning different finger picking patterns that are normally in the song. So I'm going to show you a little bit of an easier way to play it. Now if it starts off tricky at the beginning, just try and learn these full chords that I'm showing you and you'll definitely eventually be able to play it. So I'll show you the full chords first and then I'll show you a 1 finger method as well. So thank you for the suggestion. Diving right on in. How the song sounds if you're not familiar is it's got 2 G chords, but it's a little bit different. So normally with the G chord you wouldn't have your pinky on that first string. So this would be a normal G chord, play like this. But you move your 3rd finger up a string and you have your pinky tucked in underneath. Just sounds slightly different. Still all the same notes as in a G major chord, but sounds a little bit different. So it starts off with 2 G chords. Then all you do is you move your 1st finger and your 2nd finger down a string, so you're not playing this thick E string anymore, and that's a C add 9. Don't need to know the theory right now, just know that it's a C add 9, not a regular C. And then you would keep your 3rd finger where it is and you change everything else to make a D major chord. And that's the intro and that's half of the verse. And with a little bit of strumming. Now the trick behind the strumming is, before I show you a 1 finger method and a power chord version, is down, down, up, up, down, up. That's the trick. Down, down, up, up, down, up. So I'd practice that 1 chord and practice that 1 strum. And the first 2 chords are exactly the same. Next chord, same strumming pattern, drop down for the C add 9. And then over to D. Let's go again. I'll go nice and slowly and have a break between each chord just so you can really hear the progression. That's 1, 2, change chord, change chord. Fantastic. So that's the intro, well done. Let's check out the verse. The first 2 lines are exactly the same. Then start again. So that was time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. Then, so you're halfway through the verse, so well done. Then you're on to the next 4 chords. So you've got E minor, which you could play like this. Then back to that D chord. Then back to our C add 9. And back to our G. So same chords, just in a different order and with that new E minor thrown in. Same strumming pattern, and again, you repeat it twice. So E, D, C, G. And again. I know it's hard, it's a lot to take in, but that's the intro. That's all of the verses done. We're now up to the chorus, doing really well. Okay, so chorus, we go back into that E minor, then G, then E minor again, then G, and then E minor. Hope you had D, Time of Your Life, G. Okay, so it's very quick, the chorus. So it's something on G, but E minor, in the end it's G. E minor, hope you had the D of your G. Sounds a bit funny, but it's so quick. And then it starts again. So I know the chorus is quite tricky, but practice those chords and really think about it, just 4 chords in a different order over and over again. Let's show you a 1 finger and a power chord method. So I would just try and play along with the recording like this. Try and listen to the chord changes and just play with 1 finger. So 3rd fret on the 6th string, that's your G note. Play that twice. Drop down a string, move up 2 frets. And again. Then you move up all the way 2 frets to the 7th fret on the 5th string, back 2 frets, back 2 frets, up a string. So 7th fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret, up a string. And then for the chorus, you could just play, let's play a little bit easier. Let's do, have your first finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string and play the 6th string open. So you're playing like a power chord, an E power chord. So something on then 3rd fret on the 3rd fret 6th string, G, and then back, then 3rd fret, then again, then all the way to the 5th fret on the 5th string, then 3rd fret 6th string. So for the chorus, it's something, then G, but E, in the end it's G, I, E, D of your 3rd fret. Great! Lots to think about there. It's been a highly requested song. Take your time, learn the full chords. You'll have a lot of fun. Thanks for the suggestion. Alright, so diving right in, it all rolls around the A power chord. So we're going to have your first finger holding down the 2nd fret on the D string and the 5th string open. Again, bridge, pick up, a little bit of distortion. Try and get this rhythm. Have a look at the tab. Go a little bit slower. And there's those 2 power chords. Let's show you the 1 finger method. So you've got that rhythm. Then you come on here with your first finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string. Then you drop down a string and you play the 7th. Then you go back up a string to the 3rd fret. So that last part. Then the same rhythm. And that's it. I'll show you a much easier way to play it with 2 fingers, but here's nice and slow with 1 finger. Now, an easier way to play it, and it'll sound a lot more like the recording, is to use 2 fingers. So hold down, again, just do that same A power chord that we've been working on. Then have your first finger on the 5th fret of the A string and your 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the string below, so you're making a power chord. Now you don't actually play the power chord together, you play the 5th fret, then the 7th, Then you go back 2 frets with that shape, take it back 2 frets, and you play that as a power chord together. And here's how it sounds. And that's the riff. Take your time and try those power chords out. It sounds like heaps of fun to play. Thanks for the suggestion. Alright, Limp Bizkit cover Behind Blue Eyes. Thanks for the suggestion. Let's check it on out. So I've got a clean setting. I'm using the neck pickup. Sounds nice and clean like this. A little bit of chorus added and reverb just for effect. So it revolves mainly around sort of 4 chords. I'll show you the sort of picking pattern as well. So you can definitely play this with 1 finger, but I'm going to show you how I think it's better to play it with 2 fingers. And if you want to take one of the fingers off, hey, that's completely up to you. You have the power and knowledge to do that and to turn it into a 1-finger riff song. So you first play E minor. The shape is like this with these fingers. Then G6, so it's not quite a full G chord, so it's actually a little bit easier. Just with, again, 2 fingers. Then D sus2 like this. And you play D sus2 again. Then again, 2 fingers, C add 9. C add 9 again. And the last chord, A sus2. And A sus2 again. Don't worry, I'm going to slow it down, but just to go through it quite quickly, it's E minor, G6, 2 Ds, 2 Cs, 2 As. Now if you're not sure what D sus2 means or C add 9 or any of that, doesn't matter, just follow and play along. The picking pattern I would first try with is just, sort of do it loosely, just have a go, is you pick from the 6th string, 5th, 4th, 3rd, skip the 2nd, and then go back up, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So once again, just something like that. So the trickiest part I think is the start, so just really focus on 1 chord and just practice that picking pattern. Then try and add in the changes. G, D twice, and then over to C twice, A twice. Now again, the picking pattern can change, but just try and follow that idea of 6, 5, 4, 3, skip, 1, 2, and then go back up. And then if you're doing a different chord that doesn't use the E string like what I've shown, then do the same but without sort of skipping a string. That sort of thing. But if you're just starting out, just try those chords. Next is Dope Show by Marilyn Manson. I haven't heard this song in a long time. Diving right on in. Bridge pickup, lots of distortion. So this is a bit of a sort of slow groove, so it might take you a little while to get the rhythm down, but heaps of fun to play. And again, really suitable for 1 finger or for power chords. So how I would play this is I would play this sort of a rhythm. So come on here with your 1st finger on the 7th fret. Just try and get this rhythm before you do anything else. Just go for that different rhythm. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the reason why it's 7 is you actually strum 8 times on each chord, but on the 8th time you do a quick change over to the next chord. So it sounds like this, then I'll show you what I'm doing. Then you go over to the next chord. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to the 10th fret. And then again, 7 times. Do once more, then a quick change to the 5th fret. So what we've got so far. Then the last one 3rd fret. Then a quick 2nd fret. Then you start again. So, nice and simple. You play the 7th fret on the 5th string 7 times. Then quickly 8th fret, then quickly an 8th time, and then you go to the 10th fret. Then 7 times. Then quickly, and then you go to the 5th fret. Then quickly, and you go back 2 frets. Then you play the 2nd fret quickly, then you start again. Here's the whole thing without me talking. If you want to play it in power chords, definitely suggest doing that. So drop your 3rd finger down a fret, down a string. Then you start again. Thanks for the suggestion. Alright, so it is the start of Dream Theater's Pull Me Under. Great song, thank you for the suggestion. So diving right on in, you want to have your 1st finger on the 7th fret of the 4th string. Now this is a great exercise for picking different strings because you're going to be skipping around a lot. So you play the open 6th string first, then you play the fret that you're holding down, then you play the open string below it. Bit of tremolo flutter if you can. Then take that 1st finger and move it same string all the way back to the 4th fret. Do that same picking pattern. Great, let's do that again. So well done, you're maybe a 1/3 of the way there. Then have your 1st finger jump up a string and you play the 6th string, 5th string and open 3rd string again. Then the next part is the hardest part, I'd say, of this section. You play the open 6th string, have your 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, then open 3rd string, just do that. Then you play completely different, you play the 4th string, then your 1st finger on the 2nd fret 3rd string, and the open 2nd string. Have a look at the tabs below. That last section, nice and slow. The whole thing, what we've done so far. Fantastic, well done. Now I would say that's half of the riff, so the second half starts off very similar. Nothing different, but it's this last part that's a bit different, so have a look. So you play open 6th string, 3rd fret, open 3rd string, so just like before. Then this part's tricky with 1 finger. You play 1st fret 6th string, 2nd fret 3rd string, open B string. So that last section. How I would suggest playing it, I think it's much easier, is once you play this first 3 notes, hold your 1st finger, hold your 2nd finger down on the 2nd fret, and then play them. I think it's much easier. But that's it. Hope you have fun. Thanks for the suggestion. Thank you, Fletcher, for the next suggestion. We're checking out Hunters and Collectors Holy Grail. So it's really based around this main riff. I'll show you that and then I'll show you the verse. So I would say a little bit of distortion. Maybe dial the volume back a little bit so you've got just a little bit less. Now the riff is based around 4 chords, you would say. So I'll show you 1 finger, then a power chord method as well. So have your 1st finger, 5th string, all the way up to the 7th fret. That's your 1st note, so that's 1 out of 4. Then you jump up a string and you go back 2 frets. That's your 2nd. So we've got so far. go down a string and back a fret, and then you've got C sharp, then back 2 frets and you've got B. So without the rhythm, here's what the notes are. Then with the rhythm. Now, the song is all about 2 different things. It's all about power chords, and it's all about that sound. Now, how you can get that with an acoustic guitar or with an electric guitar is it's actually all about this hand. So it's all about resting your palm on the strings, and you're just strumming down and then up, but you're not pushing the strings down, they're just resting lightly. Almost like that Nirvana song. So I tried to show you a few different rhythms there, but first thing I would do it with one finger. And play along with the song. Then I would use, and I'll exaggerate just to show you, I would turn it into power chords like this. So you've got your first finger on that 7th fret, your third finger on the 9th fret below it. Then you take that shape, you move it up a string, back 2 frets. So you're holding down the 5th and the 7th. Then you drop down a string, and now you're holding down the 4th and the 6th. Then back 2 frets. I would do that next. And then what I would do is I would just try and strum down and up between chords. Then I'd try and add in as many strums as you can. How they're actually doing it in the song is between chords, they're going down, up, down, up. So first chord you play twice. Down, up, twice. Next chord twice. Then strumming, down, up, twice again. And that's it. Now, getting a little bit of a cleaner sound happening, the entire song is those 4 chords. So if you're playing along with a song, when it's not the sort of big sort of verse riff that comes in, you could just play these 4 chords. So you could play E major, woke up this morning, and then A major. Then it's a little bit tricky, it goes to a C sharp minor. You could play it like this, but I suggest just playing a power chord. And then back to that other power chord we were playing before, B. Or when you can, a full B chord. So E major. And it literally just repeats those chords the entire time. Woke up this morning, strangest dream. And then just go again. And then it goes into the riff. And that's it. Hope you liked it. Rock You Like a Hurricane, such a great song by the Scorpions. Thank you for the suggestion. Diving right on in. So you want to have your first finger on the 7th fret of the 5th string. You play that 3 times. Jump up a string and go all the way back to the 3rd fret. Play that twice. Move up 2 frets. Play that twice, the 5th fret. Jump down a string and play the 3rd fret once. Then move up 2 frets and play that twice. If you can, turn into power chords. And that's it, such a fun riff. Thank you for the suggestion. Rock on. Alright, so the last song in the video, thank you for suggestion, Fletcher, is Vance Joy's Riptide. It was a massive hit by an Aussie, a local boy, so really happy to be teaching this song. Now, I've avoided teaching this song for the longest time, mainly because in the original recording it's recorded on a ukulele, but then they've used software. So when they've recorded it, they've used software for whatever reason to tune it down. So it's actually between two notes, so it's not quite an A minor, the first chord, and it's not quite the fret below it, a G sharp minor. It's in between. So my problem is when I teach this song is it's easy to play because it's only 3 chords, but the problem is you can't actually play along with the recording because they've tuned it down. So it's really, really difficult. So even if you were just to move the chords down a fret, it still wouldn't work because imagine it's like a quarter fret. So what I would suggest doing is learn these chords and play along with any live recording that Vance Joy does. So just type into YouTube Vance Joy Riptide live, then you can play along because he's not in the studio, so they haven't detuned the live version, so then you can play along. Enough yakking, let's dive right in. So it's only a few different chords. So I'll show you full chords, then a 1-finger method. So the chords are A minor, played like this with these fingerings. Then G, and then C, and then C again. So it's just a 4-chord song. A minor, G, C. Now it's quite fast. And it's literally those 3 chords over and over and over again. So come in with your first finger on the 5th fret of the 6th string. That's your A note. So you're imitating that A minor. Then you move back 2 frets to G. Then you drop down and you play that C note, or the 3rd fret. Then 3rd fret again. Once you can do that, you know what to do. Turn it into power chords. Before going into the full chords. Now another thing you could do is with A minor, is when you're practicing this, just pick 1 chord. So you're just going to focus on the A minor chord. So you're going to start every sort of verse, every chorus. Then you're going to stop. Then you're going to wait till it comes back around. Then you're going to stop, you can wait till it comes back around. Or focus on the last chord, which is the C. So you can play it twice. So you don't hit the first chord, don't hit the second chord. Or focus on the A minor, forget about the G, and then just move your 3rd finger up to C, and then play C again. And if strumming is a little bit tricky, just do 1 down strum. So A minor, wait for G, then C. A minor, wait for G, C. And eventually, and after that, thank you so much for the suggestion, and thank you all for making it to the end of the video. Hopefully you had fun and learned something. Again, go to that playlist that's in the description. It's called Learning to Be a Guitarist. Everything is in there. It'll take you step by step. Only teaches the theory you need to know so you understand what's going on. But thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you're having trouble, hit me up on my Facebook or Instagram, and I'll see you again really soon.